Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another replay. This one I found in my inbox and it said this game is very crazy. Nothing else, just that description. And I was like, alright, let's have a look at it. Let's see why this game is so darn crazy. So we see the Protoss here in the top right. There's a barcode. Red Protoss player. Bottom left, it's going to be Spirit, the blue Terran player, playing for Team Kaisi, of course, opening up with a Reaper here. We have a Nexus before core. Bit of an old school approach here out of the Protoss player. I don't mind that one bit. Back in the day, it was very common for Protoss players to open up with Nexus before core. You get that extra gas over the core before Nexus, but it just delays your first adept, which makes scouting a little bit harder. It means you have less information. It means you can put less pressure onto your Terran opponent. And it also doesn't really force a bunker out of your opponent. And these are all things that, of course, are great to do. However, the Nexus before core, especially without a scout, like we're seeing it right here, is just so powerful when it comes to the eco. Only thing you do need to be careful of is bunkers behind your main mineral line, or your natural mineral line, especially if you build a second pylon on the high ground. We see the Stargate coming down here. No, it was gonna go for a Stargate, but instead it goes for that Warp Gate first. It feels like a fake Warp Gate. Oh yeah, okay, this is performance art right there. It's not quite what we wanted to see. First adept is getting popped out here. And this Reaper will probably get the full scout off. Might even be able to pick off a probe here. Good enough control out of the toss so far. We'll lose it eventually. Reaper, I think Spirit here can guess what's going on. I feel like if you see that Warp Gate start way after that first adept, such a clear indicator that it's going to be a Stargate, because you do just want that fast Warp Gate with anything that isn't Stargate, whether that's Twilight Council, Robotics Facility, or more of a straight up gateway play. Now we see Spirit following this up with a 1-1-1 type style build order. So factory into starport. Of course, this is of a Reaper, which means that the Marine gets built before the reactor, then reactor gets built. Gives you a rather low Marine count, because you do build 2 units before the reactor, and the Reaper is a unit that builds extremely long, of course. So, yeah, the Reaper first is a build in which you just don't have a lot of Marines, but you do get a little more information than you usually do, and that's also valuable. We'll see what Spirit will be capable of doing with that information. You have a robotics facility coming down, so this seems to be going into a more Phoenix Colossi style type of play. One adept was out of position, which means that this Reaper will be allowed to get in. Adept now returns back into the natural. This Hellion is still going to be capable of at least taking out one probe, perhaps. No, good control out of the toss. Micro is not bad. The APM is not the highest. 233 so far in the early game. 305 out of Spirit. With controlling this Reaper like his life depends on it. And well, obviously the Reaper's life does depend on it. Adept will join the fray and take out that Reaper though. So far, 4 workers gone down, Reaper and a Hellion gone down on the side of Spirit, but these are scouting units. He's gotten full information, and usually losing your Reaper and Hellion is completely fine if you get full information. On top of the full information though, Spirit also managed to get that 4 worker kill. So very good start here for the Terran, who's going to be pretty happy going into, oh my god, huge supply block. That is a mistake right there. That is not the way it's supposed to be, I can tell you that much. Mine Drop is heading across the map as well, and kind of baiting out that counterattack, losing the Reaper and the Hellion and saying, oh no, I have no units, please don't come attack me. And the moment these Phoenixes make their way across the map, we see Spirit go in with the drop. Let's take a look at the reaction speed out of the toss. Reaction speed seems absolutely fine. We do have that recall, might be able to lift that. I think it'll be slightly too slow, just ever so slightly too slow. I think there needs to be a pull here. Yeah, that's not good. Oh my god, that was some tight micro there out of the Protoss, but it almost went wrong. It almost did, but it didn't quite. Third CC is already going down, as of course we had that big supply block earlier, which means a little bit of money started being banked up. And this third CC usually isn't supposed to go down yet at this point. Only possible because of those unit cuts, of course. So it's an error, but it will result in a slightly better eco. Of course, another issue is that our first push is just going to be very delayed right now. And when it's going to hit, it's not going to hit very strong whatsoever. Viking and Cyclone will remain in the main base. Almost no Marines here though with this army. Where's all the Marines? Am I just not seeing them? I see like 4 Marines over here, and then there's 1 Marine in the bunker. Okay, there's a bunch in the natural, but I think this should be split more evenly. Yeah, you're just gonna lose your Cyclone like this, and probably also your Viking if you're not careful. Needs to land it, will not land it. Now can start picking up a couple of SCVs. 4 SCVs do go down, so good harass out of these Phoenixes. No Marine split here for Spirit, which is surprising. Should have just had like 7 in the natural with that turret, and then 7 or 6 in the main with that Viking and that Cyclone. There would be no trouble in that case. Now this Marine is going to fall as well. Stim hasn't completed yet. It's about 20 seconds away, I believe. No, 25 seconds. As we see Spirit starting to move out, this medevac might get picked up as well, of course. Observer providing full vision. We'll see anything that pops out of these barracks. And this Protoss will make a handy use of that. So we now have 8 Phoenixes. It's really not that many Marines here either. Like, this army is a single Colossi swipe away from just getting picked up by these Phoenixes. And that is potentially a big issue. That really is potentially a big issue. We do have that single Colossi out. Second Colossi joins as well. There's 2 Colossi. These look very scary, but without thermal lens. Well, actually, even without thermal lens, there's only a single Marauder in this army. Should be absolutely fine. Actually, 2 Marauders in this army. Good move forward here. Third Marauder joins up, but the first 2 friends already have died. It's a little bit sloppy. I'm not a huge fan of sacrificing units like this. I mean, an Observer should just be capable of being chronoed pretty quick. Instead, he decides to lose 2 Gateway units, and he tanks one of the mine shots with a Phoenix as well. It's not the end of the world, but it's not absolutely brilliant either. We have Charge as a follow-up, and we have well, still continued Phoenix production. Templar Archives. So this seems to be going into a push here out of the Protoss. The Templar Archives confuses me. You can really only afford maybe a single Archon here. Much rather would have seen maybe an extra Sentry or just more Phoenixes. But instead we are seeing this. Seems to want to go into a push at least, as we have no more worker production here out of the TOS. Just preparing for a big push out. If Spirit was aware of this, he'd probably want to throw down a bunker. Second starport. Second starport is on the way. Double mine hit. Do manage to take out a couple of these Phoenixes, as 4 Phoenixes have gone down total. That's of course 400 gas and is a pretty decent deal. Marines looking for the sniper as well. Might be able to get 1 more. No, barely don't. What's that HP on that? 7 HP on that final Phoenix. No shield remaining. More Phoenixes are being built at this point, and we will see hopefully a single... Okay, this is such a huge scan here out of Spirit. Huge scan. Sees the complete lack of saturation here on the 3rd base. Sees the lack of a refinery, and now all the alarm bells should be ringing. We're not seeing any bunkers going down though. That is a mistake here. Definitely a mistake. You want to of course keep these Marines safe if you can. And bunkers always do a decent amount of tanking. I am so surprised what we're seeing here. We're seeing no response whatsoever out of the Polish Terran player. He's gonna well, what's that? He's gonna unburrow one of these mines and move it more towards the left. No turrets being built either. Turrets, of course, insanely good against big Colossi Phoenix numbers. Not going to be the case that mine gets picked off before it gets to shoot. Now we have the SCV pool. Vikings are trying to target down the Colossi. Only 2 Colossi are in this army, so with some good kiting. These Colossi will actually not be able to do very much. This Colossi has been targeting mainly a turret so far. And this is where some zoning turrets could definitely be helpful. Now we do have a lift up, 44 supply still left here for the Terran player, while we're at 91 for the Protoss. A lot of the supply, of course, is in Phoenixes, which are very useful as long as there's not enough anti-air. But right now there's a lot of anti-air. EMP almost hits all of these Phoenixes, so... these Phoenixes feel more like a medevac killer than anything else at this point. There's a lot of Marines still in the back, only a single Colossi. In this type of choke, it might be really difficult for the Protoss to attack into this. And I like this move, just F2ing forward though with his entire army, making sure that everything sticks together. It also means that these Phoenixes take a lot more shots from the turrets than perhaps they need to. Spirit with a good fight here initially. Force field's actually helping him out there as well, creating a bit of a wall in front of him. More Marines here are being produced. 3rd CC is still alive, obviously. Good force field here. The Phoenixes will be able to take out most of these medevacs. Colossi has gone down though, and Archon pickups are good. Once again, a good set of force fields will be able to most likely blast these Marauders back to Marauder hell. So another Zealot Warp. It should be capable of, well, finishing this game in my opinion. 45 army supply against 28. Zealots are moving forward. EMP does hit those Zealots. And we have some kiting back up the ramp right now. Upgrades, of course, for the Protoss are only on +1, while we have 1-1 for Spirit. Ghosts are empty, or this game would be over pretty quickly. Good SCV pool here as well. Marines being ready for it. Another EMP hits a lot of these Protoss units. And I think maybe Spirit will be capable of holding on. As that Prism has gone down, this Immortal will die in the remaining seconds that the fight lasted. Now there's 3 Phoenixes left over. 53 workers against 30. 1-1 against +1. +2 is now on the way. Colossi production resumes once again. The gateway count is at 8 here. So we have these Phoenixes right now taking out SCV after SCV. And their energy is empty. Not so much because they've been killing, but mainly because they have just been getting EMP'd again and again and again. Fort base going down here for the Protoss player, while we see Spirit still on a mere 28 workers on 3 base. Sends out a single 8 worker drop. So we have the same time a 4 Zealot drop. These barely miss each other. That's actually very close. And of course Spirit is going to just have a very difficult time dealing with this drop, as just doesn't have that much. He is outmining his opponent somehow, some way. Half the workers, but mules are a rather good unit. So now we have 8 Marines running in towards the natural. Let's take a look at this response time out of the Protoss. Trying to deal with a drop here. Loses most of his workers before he even realizes. A bunch of workers did end up going down there. 47 workers killed so far, by the way. And those workers all have fallen on the side of Spirit. Now 4 more Zealots will walk into the 3rd base. As another 4 get dropped into the main. Sadly, there's only like 3-4 workers left in the main. But perhaps here in the 3rd base you can get a little bit of damage done, I think. Kill at least something. 3rd in the main will go down. 40 workers still remaining. 2nd Robo has also finished here for the Protoss player, who is at 93 supply. It needs to be careful. This is an interesting warp in. I don't quite approve of it. He's going to lose that Prism before it even finishes up. Fort base has finished up at this point though for the Protoss player, and we will be... Oh my god, that's the type of scan where you're like, no way. He does have a fort. Alright. That's gonna suck. Oh, Phoenix gets targeted down there. If we can get the other Phoenix, might be able to keep this alive. Will not be able to keep this alive because the Phoenix will not fall into that trap. Big drop heading towards that far right side now at the same time. And this is also an angle we shouldn't forget that could be very tricky for the Protoss to deal with only a single Phoenix remaining. Imagine attacking this fort base, and then if the Protoss army comes there, just dropping straight into the main. And I think that is what Spirit's plan is over here. No EMPs being used on this Nexus. Perhaps a mistake, but perhaps it's going to be fine anyway. Nexus gets taken out. EMP hits a bunch of these Stalkers. Now we have that drop that I was talking about. It's so obvious. Blink is here though. We'll be able to take out one of these medevacts before it gets to the main base. Decent amount of units will still be able to get there, but a Colossi... No, this is a Prism! So unfortunate. I thought it was going to be a Colossi. I feel like this TOS also thought it was going to be a Colossi. We have another army moving in towards the 3rd base. Nice little rotations here out of Spirit. We'll be able to get out with his medevacts. Try to go perhaps for a fort base. We immediately see this army move towards the left side, realizing that there's going to be a defensive rotation towards the 3rd base, leaving the natural open. Absolutely beautiful multitasking here out of the Polish Terran player. Will be able to once again clean out a mineral line. And at this point the worker counts are actually surprisingly even, but of course with triple orbital command still left over, it actually seems to become a rather favorable scenario here for the Terran. When I say favorable, I mean his eco is favorable, because if we think about what the army looks like, we have 3 Colossi, 3 Archons against 27 Marines and 6 Marauders. This is the type of army that's absolutely gonna blast a Marine-based army. There's not enough ghosts to EMP all of those Archons either, so there's a lot of tanking supply here, or a lot of tanking power in this army in general. So we have 2 medevacts that should be filled to the brim here. If he wants to. If he wants to fill them to the brim, I think he can. Another medevac on the left side as well with a lot of units. It's way too many units for that medevac. This base might just fall though. This seems to be going into a bit of a base trade scenario. Command center gets taken out. A lot of these probes are going to fall. Tries to split them off in 2 different directions. A couple of them will survive. This seems to actually be a full-on base trade at this point. Now we need to make use of this prism. Get a couple of these Archons on the high ground. 2 Lips on the high ground. We'll be able maybe to tank something. Oh my god, interesting blink forward. It's actually going to work out rather well. There's not enough ground DPS here to deal with these Stalkers. Bunker gets taken out. Archons are kind of bugging though. Wouldn't mind if some of these Archons get taken up onto the high ground. Here we go. Starts kind of ferrying his units into that main base. Not doing the greatest job. Also got a Stalker in there, of course. Could have blinked. Now the command centers and the starports are lifting. Barracks following suit as well. There is a... Oh my god, there's no money for a Nexus. There is no money for a Nexus right now. Command center is going to get taken out. The second command center, will it survive? I'm not quite sure. For now it will. Is there a Phoenix? There is no Phoenix, which means... Is this a draw? I mean, I think in here you can still hit it. If this command center gets to go to the bottom right corner, this is at least a draw at this point for Spirit. Oh, over here as well. Okay, no, this is 100% a draw for Spirit. Worst case scenario. Okay, so what do we have right now? Still have a command center, so rebuilding things is a possibility. There's a 100% draw at this point for Spirit, who obviously wants to still get units going. However, the Protoss player does need to be careful. He doesn't really have that many minerals. It's not like he can just start spamming batteries or spamming assimilators around the map. He is very limited here. 380 minerals. The Protoss is going to try and find this army and try to fight it as well. We can just keep the unit tab open at this point. It's not like there's going to be any major production happening soon. I'm curious what would happen if these 2 armies clash. When I say I'm curious, I mean Spirit is going to get absolutely slaughtered here. I don't really see a way for him to win a fight. 4 SCVs make their way towards that bottom corner. Mules are dropping. Perhaps depots could be started soon. EMPs do hit. A couple of these Stalkers are gonna go down. Colossi, of course, dishing out a crap ton of damage. Yeah, this is pretty much it. Alright. Yeah, this seems to be a draw. Right? There's just not a whole lot here that the Terran can do no more. Army way in favor. It's 2 Marauders, 1 Marine against 3 Colossi, 3 Archons and 5 Stalkers. We have 2 assimilators remaining. We have a pro position at this assimilator. Not realizing though that there is mining going on. And actually, oh my... Single Banshee is being built right now. Draw. Maybe. I feel like the moment someone says maybe, you kind of have to realize that something funky is going on. He didn't kill that 1 CC. Oh no, that is so painful. 3 pylons are being... What? Just randomly built here. The Protoss doesn't believe there's any mining going on. Okay, now he realizes and sees, oh, wait a second, this is not good. Immediately starts running over there. There's still an observer with this army though, so... The problem with this, to me, it seems like that he just built all of his buildings in one location, which is absolutely not necessary. You have a second Banshee coming out as well. There's still 5 Stalkers. There's 3 Archons as well. There's plenty of anti-air. This command center hasn't been repaired, by the way, so it's going to fall and start burning very rapidly. All of these workers need to be taken down ASAP. Is this all the workers that are here, or is there still a worker somewhere? There's a worker still on the map here. So maybe... No, actually, he's out of money. He lost all of his workers, bar 2, but he's completely out of money. Okay, this actually seems like a draw still, in my mind. There's not enough units. We have how many? No, wait, he has money for a CC. He started the CC. Yeah, he finds the CC immediately. And that's the final CC he can... Oh my god, he has 3 Banshees queued up. So it's not the final CC. Have these Banshees gone in yet? No, they haven't. More Stalkers are being sent in. This is such a tense little game here. I'm not quite sure who is winning it. Well, the only one that can win, possibly, is Spirit. So, by default, he is winning. Or he's drawing. So, I do know who is drawing or winning. Okay, let's take a look at the response time here out of the toss once again. It's going to see something getting attacked. It's like, oh no, this sucks. This is not cool. And now, actually, these Banshees might be capable of taking... No, just take out the pylons. You can just kill the pylons. I understand that he's going for this, but... It's actually the incorrect call. I think he could have gotten the pylons. He really could have gotten the pylons here. There's 2 Stalkers remaining, 3 Archons. The DPS of Banshees is so good that... I'm almost positive that he could have gotten the pylons. Now he's gonna go for, well, this Archon. I don't think that can be it, right? Okay, another Stalker gets taken out. He's just gonna try to kill all anti-air. That is the goal here. The goal here is to get rid of all the anti-air. And so far, well, that's not really working out. It's a game. Again. There's going to be a single Banshee against 3 Archons. Is this correct? Yes. No, 2 Banshees against 3 Archons. But... Draw? Yeah, maybe. He needs to kill this before the second Banshee comes out. Why is he attacking the tech lab? No, the Prism needs to stay home. The Prism needs to stay home in order to hold the arc. Well, actually, maybe this is fine. I'm not quite sure. But why isn't he... It definitely should be some target fire here on this target. The funny thing here is... Oh my god, you gotta be kidding. There's no way you lose the Prism, right? Yeah, that's actually impossible. If these buildings now get attacked... Because for whatever reason, Spirit has decided to land all of his buildings. Okay, there's a Viking on the way. I thought this was a Banshee, but it's a Viking. Can he get it with a... Oh my god, he's gonna get the Prism. No way. Okay, now the question is... Given infinite time... Will you be capable of taking out... an Archon ever? I think the answer is no, because you can kind of rotate the Archons and let them regenerate shields, and you only need like 1 or 2 hits. Like, if you just get a hit every now and then, I think maybe you shouldn't even be going for the Archons, but instead you're going for the pylons here. What is the barracks gonna do? Oh, it could block! What's this? That is definitely not the way. It could block. He could block with the barracks. If he can block part off, then maybe he can take out the... I mean, it's just not possible, right? Okay, that's 1 hit. But you can just rotate. Okay, this seems a lot easier than I thought it would be. He can block a path. He can block a path. I think that's what he should do. He definitely should be doing that. If he can block the path, then these Archons have no chance whatsoever. Look at it, he's trying to go for a surround here. Right now he's... Oh, he still has 4 works. He still can build another assimilator as well. So it's possible here that Spirit decides to kind of sack a bunch of his HP to try and get the final shots on the pylon, you know? And then not realizing that there's enough money for another assimilator. What is this over here? This is the Viking in the corner. The Viking in the corner. With the medevac. Okay, 1 shot. Oh, this is real tight. This is so close as well. Like, you can feel that both of them... Well, actually, the toss doesn't really need to move back too much. You just kind of stand forward. I think this actually is a draw. Like a legitimate draw at this point. I don't see how... Like, unless he goes for the move with the barracks. It's the only thing I can think of. If it's not going to be the move with the barracks... Oh! Almost got a hit off. Every hit is the difference between life or death. I think this toss isn't microing. Okay, game will end in 2 minutes. Yeah. It's going to be a draw. There will not be any mining going on. And the timer will run out. It's an actual draw. I can't believe this happens. After getting denied the draw twice, the toss still gets it. I really think dropping the barracks over here, if you land the barracks here and start attacking the back 2 pylons, you practically create a wall. Right? I think that's fair to say. Killing a unit, by the way, isn't good enough to reset the timer. You need to do something else. You need to mine, I believe, or build a structure, or kill a structure. If you can kill this structure, the timer will reset. So actually, it is still possible. And the TOS actually is losing a lot of HP on these Archons. There's only a single minute left to kill this pylon. If he gets the pylon, the timer gets reset, and the game can go on. Oh no. If this building dies, I think the timer also gets reset. Oh my god! No way! I think the timer gets reset. I'm gonna Google the rules. I'm not quite sure actually. When does a StarCraft game end in a draw? I know that it's not with a unit. I used to think a unit kill. Okay. A stalemate occurs when all players are unable to complete any of the following actions. Generate income, produce a unit, construct a building, research and upgrade, destroy an enemy building. Okay, so once that barracks would have gone down, it actually would have been over. Attacking the barracks was a mistake. If he never would have attacked the barracks, he probably could have kept this pylon alive by sacrificing the life of his Archons. So and he attacked this barracks a couple of times, even though it probably was here. He just attacks it. This is what loses him the game. I think the Protoss thought that if he would lose a unit, the stalemate timer would reset, but that's not actually the case. Oh my god, this is the sickest thing. This barracks won the game. Would he be capable of taking out the pylon? No, because you can actually just sacrifice all your Archons. Like, you can lose all 3 Archons and it's completely fine. So you can... I don't think all of them will go down and the pylon will go down. If you micro semi-properly, just by a little. Right? Yeah, so... of course, this game, he should have left for a good reason. Because this barracks was gonna burn down in time, I believe. Yeah, definitely would have burned down in time. But I think in theory it could have been possible if he had microed a bit better. Oh man, what a sick game. What an absolutely sick game. Alright, that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I did. If you didn't, you're an idiot. Bye.